Hello, and welcome to your real estate journey expert tips for buyers and sellers. I am Dolly Lopez, your realtor and broker in the state of Florida and Kentucky. In this podcast, we provide you with advices to make informed and educated decisions on your real estate journey. And today, as every single Thursday, I am joined by one of my personal favorite real estate attorneys, Leslie. Welcome. How are you today?
Hi, doing very well. Loving this space that we have created for, all of our followers and just people finding ways to have a less stressful real estate transaction and wanting to learn before actually committing to this world. It's a little bit of complicated situation, but nothing that we cannot learn throughout the way. So very happy to be with you.
And, and, and as we normally say, guys, just educate yourself. Whenever you're thinking about purchasing a property, you want to make sure that you make educated decisions throughout the process. And that's all we do. Try to educate you, regardless of who are you working with, regardless of realtor or broker or lender or closing attorneys. But at least you hear our perspective, and this is within the US, of course. Anyways, so today we want to talk about mortgage fraud. What's mortgage fraud? Why can people, how would people do mortgage fraud? And what are the consequences? And why definitely want to avoid getting into that mess altogether? So I'll start and then Leslie, you can jump in. But normally, mortgage fraud, it's when people steal identity sometimes to commit fraud, and they can obtain, people can falsify documents, social security numbers, steal pay stubs from other people to get a loan, falsified employment verification forms. It's also something that we have heard, that could happen. And anything that it's related to falsifying your identity or income or assets is considered mortgage fraud. Um, so, Leslie, what would you say? What are the consequences, and what else would you add to mortgage fraud, to the list of mortgage frauds?
Well, it's more simple than people think. When you intentionally provide false information or you're misleading with information providing, um, in order to obtain a mortgage loan or to influence the terms of that loan, then you are committing mortgage fraud. And it goes as simple as stating that you are single when you're married, or that you have an income that is not actually you who is receiving that income, but it just happens that you are within the same bank account, to actually a more complicated scheme when you're actually going the extra step and creating false documents to support all of the false or misleading information you added on that form. Then that's when we are in the presence of mortgage fraud, and the consequences are very serious. You can get in jail, you're going to get prosecuted, and you're going to have a criminal record for the rest of your life, which is going to put you in a position of having to explain yourself every single time you apply for a mortgage, you apply to rent a property, sometimes when you apply to a job, and in various circumstances, including for your children. If you have children and they need for you to be a co-signer on a student loan, you're going to get judged if you have a mortgage fraud incidents in your past. So this is very serious, that when you fill out that 1003 form, the uniform mortgage application form, that you are truthful when you're filling out the information. And if you are unsure, before you just fill out whatever comes into your mind, not giving it the seriousness of the process, that you reach out to your loan officer and you understand what is it that they're asking of you before you actually fill out that information, if that makes sense.
No, it totally does. One of the things that I've heard from other loan officers, it's that people try to modify falsified
Yeah.
jobs. or bank statements. Like either you do or you don't. It's not worth trying to get a mortgage loan with falsified documentations. You will get caught. I mean, it's just a matter of time. You will get caught if
You
you don't
will.
have it the
We're
first
talking about a felony here. You're gonna get prosecuted for a felony, and you're gonna get, and you're also gonna get, a monetary penalty if you don't go to jail. So you are facing very serious consequences, and that it's unnecessary. Just you need to have a plan set with your loan officer, set up your goals, set up a plan, and then follow through. And you're gonna be able to get that loan if you actually do this process. It's gonna take time, yes, but everything in life takes time. You don't graduate from any profession that you want when you're 5 years old. It takes time for you to get there to the point where you're ready to actually go into that industry, that profession, that job, whatever that is. So as with everything else in life, buying a property is a process, and then you need to be able to be ready to do it, and that needs a plan, and you need to follow through. So and it's not going to get you there by falsifying information that is only going to make your life, you know a disaster, a nightmare.
agree. I was talking to one of my colleagues a couple of months ago, and he said that he had a client who it's banned from applying for FHA loans forever. They try to falsify bank statements uh,
Wow.
to get more income. So that this person cannot apply for an FHA loan altogether for their entire life. It's just not worth it, people. If you are looking to buy or sell your property, you definitely, and you're in Florida and Kentucky, you definitely want to call me. However, if you don't, you want to make sure that the person who's guiding you, it's teaching you and trying to do the
No,
right thing.
right. And um even if you are gonna have that job that it will produce that income, if you haven't started that job, don't add that information there, because at the end of the closing, let me tell you what's gonna happen. That 1003 form that you fill out at the very first day, the lender is gonna require you to actually wet sign that application, because some people don't realize that everything they fill out online at the closing table, you resign everything with a wet signature. So you're actually reaffirming everything that you already provided. And it's going to be on their oath, because most of their documents have to be notarized. And
Just
that's
definitely keep that in mind. I keep saying lenders are like FBI agents because we looked at everything. There's anything that's twisted, anything that is misspelled, anything, any pages missing, any large deposits, any large withdrawals, anything.
and
They
as you
will.
should, Dolly, because people don't realize this is an investment they're making on you. It's not free money that you're getting. This is a collective fund that is being used so that you can dispose of those funds the way you need to, but you need to be able to qualify. You need to be able to hit all of those requirements that that it have to be met. So don't take it personal. It's just a way to make sure that the investment is solid, that you are a reliable person, that you will take serious this loan, that you will put the funds to the good use of purchasing a home, that you are actually able to afford, and then that the property is good enough to sustain that mortgage. So don't think this is just a behavior they just want to do. No, it has a reason, it has a purpose. Think of it as yourself. Would you give somebody $10 if you don't know that that person is reliable enough to give it back to you? You don't. Nobody wants to just throw money away.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. So, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed our conversation. If you have had um, any friends or know anything about mortgage fraud, please leave it in the comments. I would love to read them and see what you have seen on your end of the world. So, anyways, thank you so much. Remember, we're here to assist you in your real estate journey to success. Um, there you got Valerie, Leslie, and the VPP firm to protect you guys whenever you are doing a closing, whether you're a seller or a buyer. And I'm here to help you and guide you throughout the process as well, either as a lender or as a realtor. Thank you so much for tuning in to your real estate journey, expert tips for buyers and sellers. And I will see you guys next week. Bye bye.